I think I broke my heart there once again. It's such a tragedy because the Sudan has been suffering from a civil war for the last 6 years.
Audrey Hepburn became a symbol of glamour and timeless elegance, but beneath that image was a woman shaped by longing and quiet emotion. What if the love that defined her life wasn't the one the world saw, but a private connection hidden from the spotlight? Behind the fame, she faced heartbreak and a constant search for something lasting. This is the story of the man she never forgot. A love that stayed with her until the very end. The love that might have been. In the early 1950s, Audrey Hepburn was just beginning to make her mark in Hollywood, her quiet determination and grace setting her apart from the industry's more flamboyant stars. She wasn't chasing fame for its own sake. Deep inside, she longed for a simple life filled with love and the chance to start a family. It was during the filming of the 1954 movie Sabrina that Audrey met William Holden, a major star already known for his charm and confidence. Their connection was immediate and genuine, laughter between takes, long conversations after the cameras stopped. Something quietly special developed between them. But this budding romance was shadowed by reality. William Holden was married, and more devastatingly for Audrey, he had undergone a vasectomy years earlier. For Audrey, who dreamed of motherhood above all else, this medical fact turned a hopeful romance into a painful impossibility. The future she had imagined with Holden, full of children and shared happiness, suddenly seemed impossible. Despite the warmth of their bond, she faced the heartbreaking decision to step away from the relationship. The affection they shared was real, but life had set an unyielding boundary. Audrey's yearning for a family could not be fulfilled with Holden, and that truth reshaped her understanding of love. This was a love that many on set quietly noticed, yet few knew about outside the film's production. It remained a secret chapter in a life already brimming with public admiration. While Hollywood glittered all around her, Audrey's heart was quietly wrestling with what could not be. Audrey's experience with Holden illuminated a powerful reality. Sometimes the truest feelings are those that cannot survive the harsh demands of life. The romance carried a bittersweet quality, poised between what was and what might have been. For Audrey, it was a lesson in love's complexities, a reminder that human hearts can yearn for what life may never allow. Yet, this chapter also shaped the woman who would continue to seek a love that could truly last. Even as her star rose and audiences adored her, Audrey carried within her the ache of this unfulfilled love, an emotional undercurrent behind the dazzling smile and stunning performances. The contrast between public triumph and private sorrow was stark but profoundly human. Outwardly, she was one of the most graceful women in the world. Inwardly, she was learning that love is complicated, sometimes elusive. It was this experience that hinted at a deeper story still waiting to unfold. This early heartbreak planted a seed of longing that would follow Audrey through the rest of her life. It revealed a tension between the ideal she strived for and the reality she faced. For her, love was not just a fleeting Hollywood romance, but a vital need tied closely to family and belonging. The struggle to reconcile those desires with circumstance became a defining thread in her personal journey. Still, Audrey never abandoned hope. The years ahead would bring new relationships and promises of different kinds of happiness. But the memory of what almost was lingered quietly, a reminder of love's fragility. It was a love story interrupted, a beginning without a clear end. Across her life, this experience shaped the way she saw her future and herself. Behind Audrey's poised image, this chapter was a subtle yet powerful turning point. It signaled that not all love stories are made to be seen, nor all romantic breakthroughs to be celebrated. Sometimes, the most meaningful love exists in what remains unspoken, living on quietly in the heart. This early encounter was the first of many steps toward the love that would one day bring her lasting peace. Though this could have been the greatest love of her life, Audrey learned that sometimes love must be let go, no matter how deeply it is felt. This poignant realization set the tone for the relationships and choices she would make in the years to come, shaping her path in unexpected ways. And yet, the most profound chapter was still ahead. Her search for love was far from over, but it was clear that whatever awaited her next would have to overcome the silent obstacles that had shaped her first great heartbreak. The next chapter would begin with hope, and with a new kind of possibility for Audrey's heart. In time, Audrey found herself walking down a very different path, one filled with hope and challenges all her own. Marriage with hope and challenges. After the quiet heartbreak with William Holden, Audrey Hepburn's focus shifted back to her rising career, which was opening doors she had only dreamed of before. In 1954, she married Mel Ferrer, a talented actor and director who shared her passion for the arts and intellectual conversation. Unlike the whirlwind romances in Hollywood, their union began with a thoughtful connection, founded on shared interests beyond the usual social scenes. For Audrey, this marriage felt like a hopeful step toward stability and a deeper understanding. The couple's initial partnership appeared to deliver everything Audrey desired because her partner supported her work, while both partners exhibited emotional sensitivity. Mel directed Audrey in theatrical productions, which resulted in her receiving critical acclaim and winning a Tony Award. The couple displayed public harmony, which attracted admiration because of their fashionable appearance and their visible affection for each other. Many people thought Audrey had discovered her perfect match, who understood both her public life and her private desires. Sean's first child arrived in 1960 and brought joy to their family, which Hollywood could never match. Audrey became a different person through motherhood because her friends observed she had achieved new levels of peace and satisfaction. Motherhood, which she experienced during her celebrity life, provided her with a vital source of relief from her demanding professional obligations. The family unit provided her with the tranquil existence she had always desired. The glamorous public appearances of the couple began to show hidden problems that developed within their relationship. The couple's work obligations, plus the public nature of their Hollywood profession, created overwhelming stress, which impacted their romantic relationship. Industry insiders began to spread rumors about their relationship because silent conflicts had developed between them throughout their working hours. The couple faced relationship challenges that emerged from their different public image and actual private existence. The pressures that emerged through time created challenges that proved hard to defeat. The love and hope that had defined their wedding day 2 years earlier started to change into a more reserved and strained bond. The couple could not sustain their relationship because their shared artistic interests no longer brought them closer to each other during challenging times. Audrey and Mel both cared for each other, yet their relationship developed more distance between them. Audrey and Mel chose to separate after 14 years of marriage, which ended in 1968. Their marriage ended through a private event that occurred during their life while they received public recognition. The chapter offered Audrey an ending combined with a valuable lesson about the intricate relationship between love and work and personal achievements. The marriage began with potential because both partners showed optimism about their future together. The period demonstrated that love requires more than shared aspirations to maintain its existence between partners who love each other deeply. The decline of their relationship brought back memories of Audrey's past romantic loss, which proved that true love requires constant effort. Throughout this time, Audrey maintained her strong desire for both peace and family, which remained her most cherished desire. The marriage brought Audrey both joyful experiences and painful realities, which formed her understanding of love and life despite facing difficulties. She stored her life experiences within herself as she awaited the upcoming challenges that she would face. Her path to finding enduring love continued to develop through her unyielding determination and her unbroken faith. With her marriage behind her, Audrey was drawn to a slower, more reflective way of life, seeking a new kind of love and peace beyond the Hollywood lights. A new beginning in Italy. Following the end of her marriage with Mel Ferrer, Audrey Hepburn embarked on a quieter chapter in her life, stepping back from the relentless pace of Hollywood. She still attracted admiration and offers for film roles, but her priorities had shifted towards something far simpler: peace and family. It was during a Mediterranean cruise in 1968 that she met Andrea Dotti, an Italian psychiatrist who would introduce a new kind of relationship into her life. Andrea Dotti's calm and thoughtful demeanor was a stark contrast to the dramatic lives Audrey had witnessed in Hollywood. Unlike actors and producers who thrived under the spotlight, Dotti lived a more private world, one that offered a sense of grounding Audrey had long sought. Their connection promised the possibility of a stable, quiet life away from public scrutiny. For Audrey, this felt like an opportunity to start fresh. In 1969, the two married in an understated ceremony in Rome. Friends hoped that this union would finally grant Audrey the private and peaceful relationship she longed for. Not long after, Audrey gave birth to their son Luca, and once again, motherhood became the center of her life. This time, her focus was on creating a nurturing environment far from the glare of Hollywood cameras. For a time, life seemed balanced. Audrey split her time between Italy and Switzerland, dedicating herself to raising her children and reducing her workload in film. Her days were quieter, marked by the ordinary rhythms of family life that she had wished for her entire career. It was a marked departure from the hectic world she'd once known, one that seemed to hold the promise of lasting happiness. The atmosphere of the place began to develop tension, which people outside the area failed to see. The public spread rumors about Andrea Dotti because they believed he had romantic relationships with multiple women. Audrey decided to ignore the rumors about her marriage because she feared facing the possibility that her marriage would end in failure. She had already experienced emotional pain, but the relationship brought her temporary hope, which she wanted to continue. The distance between them created a situation that became impossible to maintain. The private life she had planned vanished because their marriage relationship became more damaged. Audrey achieved her goals through hard work, but she discovered that the peace she wanted to attain remained out of reach. The quiet retreat developed into another episode of disappointment and loss. The relationship between Audrey and Andrea reached its end in the early 1980s, which marked another painful separation for her as she searched for enduring love. The pattern of hope followed by heartbreak had become her usual experience, but it remained challenging to endure. Audrey learned through her experiences that love exists in complex forms, which people need to accept as natural. Audrey sought to attain her personal happiness through a new beginning in Italy, yet the situation failed to create the stable future she wanted. She moved ahead with elegance while she worked on raising her children and pursuing her most important principles. The period after their separation would show her a new type of love, which would finally satisfy her deepest heart's desires. Audrey's life was nearing a quieter stage, one that would ultimately introduce her to a love far removed from the glare of fame, an unassuming relationship that would stay with her through her final days. This calm after the storm would mark a profound turning point, in how she experienced love and companionship. Quiet retreat from Hollywood. By the late 1970s, Audrey Hepburn had lived a life few could imagine. A life marked by extraordinary success, love, and heartbreak. Her effortless elegance in films like Roman Holiday and Breakfast at Tiffany's made her a global icon. Yet, by this time, the allure of fame no longer called to her as it once did. After the end of her marriage to Andrea Dotti, she chose to retreat from the dazzling spotlight of Hollywood and focus on what mattered most: her children and a quieter existence. Motherhood had become the ultimate source of happiness for Audrey because nothing else could match her complete joy about being a mother. She dedicated her life to raising Sean and Luca because she wanted to create a peaceful home environment, which she had never experienced during her childhood. The life she chose after her whirlwind years represented her commitment to a regular existence. Audrey experienced happiness through basic daily activities, which were usually hidden from her by the demands of celebrity and movie productions. She spent these years living between Switzerland and California, which are both distant from the permanent excitement of Hollywood. She left behind red carpets and cameras to enter a world where family life moved at its natural pace. People who knew her during this time of her life said that she appeared both peaceful and happy. The pressures of celebrity disappeared from her life because she gained back her normal routine, which enabled her to fulfill her essential personal requirements. The process involved more than retreating because it required undergoing a complete transformation. Audrey started to shape her life path through her role as a mother, rather than through the professional accomplishments she achieved. She wanted to protect her children from public exposure while she created the ideal childhood experience, which she herself missed. This peaceful time of her life existed as a way to find inner tranquility, which emerged through basic love. Audrey continued to maintain her strong presence and her powerful impact on others even after she stopped performing in movies. People showed her respect and affection throughout her life because she remained their admired figure. She stopped valuing herself based on how well the public responded to her. Her self-perception had developed into a new identity that centered around fundamental principles that surpassed the superficiality of glamour, which she used to consider vital. Her choice to leave the organization opened new doors for her to pursue personal projects that held special meaning to her. Audrey developed strong empathy for others who experienced suffering, particularly children, because she survived World War II as a child in the Netherlands. All her compassionate behavior at this period of her life would soon bring her direction toward a particular pathway, which required her to use her public presence to bring about substantial social changes beyond her entertainment profession. Audrey used this quiet time spent with family to create her most significant project. The public knew the actress less while seeing more of the humanitarian who used her fame to promote underrepresented voices. Audrey showed a hidden aspect of herself to the public, which extended her legacy beyond her film work. The process of leaving Hollywood behind began as a retreat, but developed into a journey toward purposeful life, which demonstrated that exceptional people develop their greatness through humble dedication to serving others. Audrey used her time of self-reflection to experience a new type of affection, which involved both a deep love for humanity and the bravery to reveal all human suffering. As she embraced this new role, another chapter quietly began to unfold, one that would introduce a man who mirrored her longing for calm and companionship. A man who would come to stand beside her, not in the glare of fame, but in the stillness of shared understanding. Sometimes love arrives not with headlines, but in whispers that become the foundation of peace. Discovery of humanitarian purpose. During the 1980s, Audrey Hepburn transformed from screen legend to dedicated humanitarian, channeling her compassion into meaningful work with UNICEF. Having personally experienced war and hardship during her childhood, she felt a profound connection to children suffering from poverty, hunger, and conflict worldwide. This mission gave her life a new depth and sense of urgency, far removed from the glamorous roles that once defined her public image. Audrey traveled extensively, visiting some of the most challenging regions, speaking openly about the urgent need for compassion and aid. Her commitment to the cause went beyond mere duty because she actively participated in the work and the advocacy efforts. Audrey used her celebrity status thoughtfully as she dedicated herself to protecting vulnerable children through her work as an advocate. She brought attention to situations that the global media normally disregarded because she showed authentic empathy that made statistical data more relatable. Her work led to other people joining the cause because she gave families hope who needed it. Audrey developed her humanitarian identity because of this path, which most people did not foresee. The young actress, who had once captivated audiences with grace and charm, was now a symbol of kindness and moral courage. Her UNICEF work enabled her to comprehend global suffering while she recognized the need for privileged people to use their power for positive purposes. This was a reinvention not just of her career, but of her purpose in life. Audrey achieved inner calm through her increasing commitment to serve others, while she balanced her new job responsibilities with her role as a mother and her personal time. The public may have known her as a star, but those closest to her witnessed a woman profoundly changed by the realities she encountered. Her humanitarian efforts showed a humble and powerful character that inspired others through her quiet demonstrations. Audrey traveled to challenging locations where she faced suffering, yet she handled each situation with dignity and strength. Her existence provided both comfort and support to the movements she worked to promote. The way she interacted with children left a strong impression on her, which drove her to stay involved, according to her friends and colleagues. The time period established for this phase created reasons for Audrey to develop his belief that love exists outside of romantic relationships through his need to help others and show understanding to others. Her desire to help others became the new way in which her heart expressed its ability to give. The love relationship required both vulnerability and courage to experience, yet it provided deep fulfillment in return. Audrey Hepburn's humanitarian work completely transformed the way people around her understood her as a person. The public recognized her as more than a glamorous star because she used her fame to create positive changes in society. The transformation that occurred through her life journey demonstrated how people achieve their goals through acts of compassion instead of seeking public acclaim. Audrey expanded her personal focus when she encountered a man who brought her quiet strength because his peaceful nature supported her mission and provided the emotional connection she had been looking for. The couple established their relationship through shared values, which built their relationship based on mutual respect in a private setting. In this chapter of service and love, Audrey found the deeper connection she had spent her life searching for, a bond that provided both peace and strength as she faced her final years. The journey from bright lights to heartfelt mission opened the door to a love that would quietly endure. Meeting Robert Wolders. In the early 1980s, as Audrey Hepburn stepped into a quieter phase of life, she met Robert Wolders, a Dutch actor known for his calm and steady presence. Their meeting was simple, through mutual friends, far from the glare of Hollywood. What began as a quiet introduction soon grew into a meaningful connection, one built on sincerity rather than public attention. Wolders shared a background that closely aligned with Audrey's. Both had lived through wartime Europe, carrying memories that shaped their outlook on life. This created an immediate understanding between them. Their conversations flowed easily, often centered on shared experiences beyond fame. Their relationship followed a different path, because both partners respected each other, whereas her previous relationships ended in public conflicts. The bond that united them remained special because it maintained a basic structure. The couple used simple acts of affection to show their love for each other. Their relationship developed through their daily activities, which included traveling to different places, dining together, and strolling through various locations. Friends observed that Audrey had changed because she appeared to have reached a state of complete contentment, which she had never experienced before. She discovered a stable relationship after she spent many years achieving public success and enduring personal heartbreak. The Wolders provided silent assistance for Audrey's humanitarian efforts, while he joined her on UNICEF missions to deliver emotional and practical support during her work in the most at-risk regions of the world. Together, they stepped further away from the world of fame and into a shared purpose that deepened their bond. The partners demonstrated their affection through their ability to wait for others to come to understand their needs. Audrey had spent much of her life searching for a relationship free from pressure and expectation. The space with Wolders allowed her to express her genuine self without the need to play any roles or show any special abilities. Their time together was defined by calm companionship rather than spectacle. The two of them experienced happiness through their daily activities, which they performed in peaceful places, whether they were together in Switzerland or California. This chapter of Audrey's life brought her closer to a genuine human connection, which stood apart from her earlier career obligations. The relationship demonstrated that true love between partners develops through shared values and consistent companionship, which exists outside of public attention. Such a steady, cherished love naturally led to a deeper chapter built on mutual respect and understanding. A love built on calm and respect. With Robert Wolders, Audrey Hepburn found a love defined not by attention, but by quiet understanding. Their bond was gentle, steady, and grounded in mutual respect, far from the intensity and public scrutiny of her earlier relationships. For Audrey, it became a refuge, a space where she could experience companionship without pressure. It was a love that felt real, lasting, and deeply comforting. The relationship between them developed naturally because they both experienced the same life events together. Their shared experiences of wartime Europe created a bond that moved beyond direct communication. The two people shared an unspoken bond that allowed them to communicate through silent gestures. Their relationship rested on a strong emotional bond, which they kept hidden from others through their calm demeanor. The two of them maintained an equal relationship between their different strengths. Audrey combined her warm personality with passionate dedication to humanitarian work, while Robert provided them with his stable nature and peaceful strength. He stayed in the background to support her work because he preferred not to join her public events. The balance between her public life and personal life created a feeling of freedom that Audrey had not experienced before. Their happiest moments happened when they experienced their most basic times. They traveled through peaceful places like the Swiss Alps and spent quiet afternoons in California while sharing long conversations about life, art, and history. Their relationship progressed through its natural process because they spent time together without people watching them. The couple showed their friends a peaceful connection, which created a state of contentment that marked their shared moments. Audrey found emotional tranquility through her relationship. Her public persona concealed a woman who had experienced multiple losses and unstable situations. Robert provided her with a foundation that remained constant. Their love developed from their daily experiences, which included their little acts of affection, their silent assistance, and their continuous companionship. The relationship functioned as both a partnership and a method of recovery. Robert accompanied Audrey on her humanitarian missions, which took them to the world's most difficult areas. He offered her both physical assistance and psychological support, which made their relationship stronger through joint work. Their romantic relationship evolved into a life partnership that served a shared mission. Robert stayed with Audrey until her health worsened. His dedication to her care demonstrated the same respect he had shown her since the start of their relationship. Their bond maintained its strength during her last months through their shared time together, which required no verbal communication. Through patience and respect, they crafted a love that lasted until the very end, proving that sometimes the truest love is the one that simply stays. Final years and lasting bond. As the years passed, Audrey Hepburn stepped away from the spotlight, choosing a quieter life focused on family, humanitarian work, and meaningful companionship. The glamour of Hollywood no longer defined her. Instead, she sought something deeper: peace, purpose, and a love that felt real beyond public attention. After experiencing heartbreak in earlier relationships, Audrey's understanding of love changed. She no longer looked for intensity or grand gestures, but for stability, respect, and quiet support. This is what she found with Robert Wolders. Their relationship grew away from the cameras, grounded in mutual care and emotional understanding. It gave her a sense of security that had been missing for much of her life. The bond between Wolders and her extended beyond partnership because he provided her with unending assistance. He accompanied her while she performed humanitarian work by providing support during her efforts to assist those who required help. Their relationship grew stronger through their shared objective, which combined their love for each other with their work that held great importance. They established a relationship that combined personal elements with their shared mission. Wolders stood by Audrey during her most challenging health battles, which occurred throughout the 1990s. He showed his dedication to her through his quiet care, which brought her solace during her toughest times. The way he acted toward her showed that they shared a deep relationship, which he proved by his constant dedication to her. The couple maintained their romantic relationship as a private matter, which they chose to shield from public view. Their relationship developed through shared experiences that created a deep bond between them, which they expressed through authentic interactions. The love between them existed, which they could prove through their public displays of affection. Audrey's last chapter shows that real love emerges quietly through respect and shared beliefs and constant companionship. Robert Wolders brought her the tranquility she had spent her life seeking. The love became permanent, which people valued most during times when everything else disappeared. Audrey Hepburn's final love was not the dazzling romance of Hollywood, but a quiet, steadfast bond that brought her lasting peace. Her journey reminds us that true love often grows in the spaces between public moments, in patience, respect, and simple companionship. If you found this story moving, please like and subscribe for more timeless tales from Hollywood's golden era.